Yo guys, what's up? Jayson Gaddis here with another episode of the Relationship Schools podcast. Thank you so much for listening. This podcast is about growing through relationship. It's growing up, we're growing in, growing together. It's about growing and developing ourselves to have better and better, more fulfilling relationships. It's also about helping you learn skills to be more effective communicator, be more effective in conflict, and even be more effective as a therapist or coach, all right? Awesome. I want to thank RMS, who says, smart stuff. Jason's voice is easy to listen to and subjects easy to understand. Thanks. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for leaving that tiny little review. That's amazing, and it goes a long way. If you want to leave us a review, I would greatly appreciate it if you're getting value here. All right, 5 stars would be great, and just leave a couple sentence comment, just like RMS did there. All right, awesome. Okay, in this podcast episode, I took a question from a listener named Ashley, and Ashley's asking about how to bring up difficult material, difficult subjects, how to not avoid having hard conversations, whatever it's about. And I did a little Facebook Live on this in our Relationship School Facebook group. If you don't know about that, you can join that. It's free. It's awesome. There's thousands of people in there. And that's relationshipschool.com/community if you want to join. So Ashley asks a really good question. There was one thing I left out, which is, look, sometimes people are indeed sensitive to stuff being brought up about their family, about their life, about their history, about their money, about their body, about whatever it is. They're sensitive, right? We all have that kind of sensitive spot. But that's not a good enough reason to not bring it up. But we do want to consider their feelings. We do want to be sensitive ourselves to, hey, I know this is a touchy subject for you. Hey, I know this can be hard to talk about. I want to respect your boundaries. Are you saying there's a boundary here? Because if not, I'd like to talk about it. If you're putting your foot down and saying, I can't talk about this, okay, I guess that sucks for me, but at the end of the day, I'm going to respect that because that's how you want to live your life. So we do want to be sensitive of other people. If you're the person on the receiving end of this, someone trying to get you to talk about something, you get to have boundaries. You get to say, not right now. You get to say, I'm not ready yet. I'm too scared. It's too uncomfortable for me. It's too activating. You get to do that. But know that if you keep doing that over many, many years, you're really putting a kink in the hose of your relationship. You're stifling the deeper connection that you guys can have together. There's so much more available. We're all pretty endless. We're so deep, us human beings. Some of us don't even know how to get in there. But if we're growing and developing ourselves, those chapters and depths and layers of us can be explored more and more and more over time. And that's just true in my experience. And talk to anyone that's been married for 40 years that's growing. They'll tell you, I'm still learning things about my partner, all right? If you're in a dead marriage or a stuck relationship for 40 years, there's probably a finite amount that both people are willing to explore together. So I'm saying there's always more, all right? Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to kind of transition right into this live video. All right, thanks again for listening. Stay tuned to the end if you want for an action step. All right, I want to talk about how to bring up difficult things, all right? Some people like to wait and tiptoe around to ask something difficult. And I'm going to talk about why that's not a great idea, all right? Okay. First, though, just to kind of frame this, we've got a question from Ashley that I think will kind of illuminate this, okay? So Ashley says, what guidance can you offer for a gal like me in my mid-40s navigating a new relationship when the conflicts and challenges and the distancing seem to be stemming from the pain and hurt he experienced in his past romantic relationships? How much does one reveal from the past for an understanding of what the triggers are and move forward? Okay, this is a very important question, right? And then Ashley kind of gives us a little more context. And she says, we both have teenagers in old ongoing custody battles and mortgages and businesses and taxes and all the yuck makes for a short honeymoon. In wanting to connect and move forward to a healthy relationship while still in the getting to know you phase, we were trying to be respectful of the past and not bring up the stressful exes, which really just makes them the elephant in the room, as they are major stressors for him. Okay, Ashley, good question. And I want to, I'm speaking to Ashley, but I'm also speaking to all of you who might have a hard time bringing up difficult conversations, right? Difficult subject matters. You know, it just goes without saying that we get scared to bring up difficult stuff, right? We hesitate. We're like, we read into what the person's reaction is going to be. We're like, they're going to shut down. They're going to get angry. They're going to leave me. Explore your fear, okay? Whenever you're like, oh, I'm struggling bringing up this difficult thing with someone else, you got to ask yourself why. Why? Why am I so scared? What am I really afraid of here? And as I often say, most of the time we find that you're afraid, worst case scenario, that the person's going to leave and the relationship's going to end, right? The person will cut you off. They'll get really aggressive. Something bad is going to happen, which is your story of why you're not bringing this up. Like, no, I'm not going to bring it up because I already know what's going to happen. And sometimes it's true that when we bring up something difficult, the person reacts exactly like we thought they would. They shut down. They don't want to talk to us. They blame us. It turns into some big thing, right? That's really normal. Because some of you are so sensitive, you kind of do know the other person. You sort of know what they're going to do. But here's the question. Is that a good enough reason to withhold your truth from another person? Is it a good enough reason? Depending on what's at stake, it might be. But here's what you're trading. You're trading your own freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of being yourself, freedom of being who you are in the context of a relationship, especially an intimate one. This is an intimate relationship. We're close. Why would I withhold who I am? But this is what we do, guys. This is what some of us do. We withhold who we are. And it's tiring. So Ashley's question, thank you, Ashley, again for your question, because I'm sure so many of us relate. I mean, raise your hand or do something if you can relate. Click like or something if you can relate to Ashley's question. Hey, I don't want to bring this up because he's going to get upset. It's going to stress him out even more. And then we're really in a fight. Now we're really distant from each other. Understandable, right? But again, is that a good enough reason to not bring it up? I don't think so. So here's the thing. I want you all to be in relationships where you are free to be yourself, where you can express your truth, where you can bring up sensitive subjects, where you can say, hey, I got something uncomfortable to share, and the other person is on board with that type of relating. They're a yes to your truth, even if it fucks them up, even if they're like, hey, this is hurtful or scary or uncomfortable. I'd rather you be in truth and express your truth than withhold it and try to protect me, which really you're protecting yourself. All right. So I want you all to be in relationships that feel mutual, where you can bring difficult things to each other. But in order to do that, guys, you have to earn your way into that by telling the truth, risking losing the relationship. All right. You often hear me, some of you guys know me well, and you hear me talk about this core human split. We trade who we are for connection and approval and to avoid getting left. So we trade our self-expression for connection. That's not a relationship, folks. That's called your childhood or something else. I want you to be in an adult relationship where you get to be you, no matter how uncomfortable the other person gets. And I'm not talking about being mean, abusive, aggressive. I'm not talking about that. But I am talking about speaking your truth. All right? So Ashley, what I want for you is that you can be yourself and you can say, honey, I'm bringing up the difficult thing again. That's right. And I know it stresses you out, but we got to deal with it. I want you guys to be in relationships, you and your guy here, Ashley, where you can talk about the exes. Like that's part of connection, is relating and bonding around your exes and saying, gosh, they're difficult, aren't they? Yeah, mine's difficult. What's difficult about your ex? Here's what's difficult about my ex. And this is what comes up for me when I talk about my ex. And this is why I'm so like struggling with that person. And will you support me here? You want to get support from your partner. And the reason some people don't is because they see relationship and talking about it as stressful, because they haven't had the experience of talking about a stressful past event or past person and it going well. They haven't had that experience. But guys, you got to start learning at some point. You cannot continue to kink yourself to stay in a relationship. It's not cool. Please don't do that. You deserve to be loved as you are, warts and all, messiness, sensitivity, emotions. Yes, and you can have that. But you, my friends, are the ones who must be willing to risk being you. You've got to risk it. You got to take a risk and say, all right, this is uncomfortable. I'm going to be me because I'd rather be me and express what's going on with me than continue to keep myself bottled up and walk on eggshells around you because you don't like to talk about this. I'm not going to do that. No. You're colluding with the person's defenses when you do that. They're defensive. They're scared. They don't want to talk about it. And you're saying, cool, I just agree with you. I will just sit on my little camp chair on your barrier around like what's really true for you because I can't go there. I'll just hang out here outside the prison fence so I don't have to get to know you and we don't have to get to know each other because I don't want you to be uncomfortable. No. Get okay with discomfort. Discomfort's a part of relationships. It's just a program. It's uncomfortable sometimes. I hear you. Yes. Oh, man. But don't let that contort you into a smaller version of you. Please don't do that, okay? All right. Yes. Any quick questions? Type them in below this right now if you've got a sub-question, especially if it's about this. Because some of you might have some yeah buts. I want to hear them. Tips for tolerating the discomfort. What's up, Shannon? Yeah, Shannon. Nestor, breathe. We all have to increase our capacity to feel discomfort if we want to be ourselves. Part of being you on the journey is to embrace discomfort in your own body and in your own experience. Oh, thanks, Chris. What's a doable small step? The very first thing, Chris, is to practice with someone safe. Hey, I want to practice with you telling the truth because let's say I'm married to this guy. I'm too scared to bring it to him. So can I bring it to you and just practice? It's like a role play, right? Honey, I got something uncomfortable to say. I always like to lead with vulnerability. I'm just scared. I feel really sensitive bringing this up. I'm worried you're going to react. That all goes well. Some people don't like that. It's just like come right in and tell the truth. I like to give people a heads up. And it doesn't mean they're going to go, oh, thanks. It just means I'm telling the truth about myself, which is what I'm trying to practice here. I'm scared. I'm a little nervous. And I got to tell you, I don't like avoiding the conversation around our exes. I don't like that. It feels like there's a little fence and a perimeter here where I can't go in, but that's not what a relationship is. I would like to go really deep with you. I want you to know me. I want to know you on the inside. Are you up for that? So before we go even into the content, we talk about now what's going on. Instead of like getting in there and trying to poke, it's just like, look, let's zoom back out and talk about our dynamic. Is this okay with us? Is this the kind of relationship we want where there's certain subjects we shouldn't talk about? Is that cool? Are you cool with that? Am I cool with that? No. Natasha, how can I bring up difficult things if the other is sensitive to feedback because they interpret feedback as blaming or negative when they make an effort to broach it with sensitivity? It doesn't matter, Natasha. Again, that's not a good enough reason why I can't bring it up. I don't care how sensitive you are. I want to be myself and tell the truth. And if this is too much for you, I've got to evaluate whether I want to be in a relationship with you. Because if you're telling me there's a big perimeter around here where I can't, talk and be myself, I got to decide, do I want to even be in this relationship right now? Let me think about that. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're all sensitive, especially in a long-term relationship when there's triggers and there's like little things going on and people are shutting down and reacting to facial expressions and tone of voice. We're all sensitive. And we've got to work with that. That's part of intimacy. That's part of a relationship. Please don't turn off or try to turn off anyone's sensitivity. It's like, well, yeah, of course you're going to be sensitive to what I'm about to say. That makes sense, given who you are and your history and what's going on in your life right now. Hell yeah. And I'm not going to sit over here like closed-lipped and not say anything. No. I'm a no to that. Yeah. All right, let's pause there. Thanks, guys. Great to hang out with you. Let's do it again, okay? Keep bringing your questions. If you got more questions, you can, certainly throw them below. But it's always cool if you email us, info@relationshipschool.com, and you type in like podcast question or something like that. I'm sure to see it, all right, at some point. So I'll try to get to it. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Okay, action step. There's two things I want you to do, depending on where you're at. If you're too scared to bring up something difficult with a family member, a friend, a partner, an ex-partner, a co-parent, if you're too scared to and you're not quite ready to do the second suggestion I'm about to offer, then this is the beginning step, is to be with your discomfort, all right? I want you to learn how to be with your experience more and more. And there's a simple guided meditation I do called the Nest or Nester meditation. You can go to relationshipschool.com/nest, N-E-S-T, and download that free MP3. Okay, there's a couple of them in there. That'll help you be with your experience of, gosh, I'm scared. This is too scary for me. Gosh, I'm not quite ready to say something. Okay, that's step one. If you feel like you're ready to take the next step, after you're like, okay, this is just fear, this is just energy moving through my body, then lead with vulnerability and take a risk and bring it up. Maybe don't bring up the hardest thing. Maybe do an intro step by saying something difficult to a friend, coworker, whoever it is. Hey, I've got something to share. Are you open? I'm just feeling kind of challenged in our dynamic. I'm over here. I want to bring up something difficult. I'm not sure how. Are you up for hearing me? So we start with that because we want to get consent that they're even open to it, right? And then if they say yes, then we can start to share and just be yourself and share. It's okay if it doesn't go well. It's a start, all right? So please do that. Those are a couple options for you. Excellent. And as always, you can join our Relationship School community for free on Facebook by going to relationshipschool.com/community. All right. Awesome. We have a stellar group of coaches signed up this fall. I hope you consider our coaching training in the future. We want more helpers like you, therapists, coaches, or just people who've never trained to come train with us to help make this world a more beautiful place relationally. All right. Yes. Okay, everybody, thanks again for listening and stay connected. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.